Good morning, class. Today we will start with unit number 3. Name of the unit number 3 is segmentation, target marketing, and positioning. Basics of marketing, unit number 3 by Dr. Rohan Dahiwale, HOD and Dean Academics, Rajgarh Institute of Management, Research and Development, Pune 43. Course outcome for this particular unit is we will see applying part from Bloom's taxonomy. Apply principle of segmentation, targeting and positioning to real world marketing offerings. Those are various commodities, goods, services, e-products and e-services also. Now we will start with definition of marketing. Before that we can discuss the syllabus. The syllabus here includes the segmentation, concepts, needs and benefits, then geographic, demographic, psychographic and behavioral basis of market segmentation for consumers, goods and services, as well as basis of segmentation for business markets, then level of segmentation, criteria for effective segmentation, market potential, market share, target market, concept of target market, and criteria for selection. We will also learn segment marketing, niche and local marketing, mass marketing, long tail marketing. In positioning, we will see the concept of differentiation and positioning, the proposition, and USP, that is unique selling proposition. Now, first part we will cover, that is definition of segmentation. Market segmentation is the process of dividing a broad customers or consumers or business markets normally consist of existing and potential customers. We will divide those into subgroups of consumers. These subgroups are known as segments. We will divide based on some type of shared inherent characteristics. So this is the definition of market segmentation. Now we will learn the concept of STP. That is, first we will learn the concept of segmentation. The process of defining and subdividing a large homogeneous market into clearly identifiable segments having similar needs, wants, or similar demand characteristics of consumers. Its objective is to design a marketing mix that precisely matches the expectations of the customers in the targeted segment. Few companies are big enough to supply the needs of the entire market. Most must break down the total demand into smaller segments and choose those that the company is best equipped to handle. In dividing or segmenting markets, researchers typically look at for shared characteristics such as common needs, common interest, similar lifestyles, or even similar geographical or demographical profile of the consumers. So similar type of characteristics customers are shared in the subgroup, or the subgroups are formed for such type of customers. The overall aim of segmentation is to identify high yield segment, that is those segments that are likely to be most profitable or that have growth potential, so that these can be selected for special attention, that is becoming the target market. Thus the market segmentation assumes that the different market segments require different manufacturing programs. So companies can think of a different marketing plan for each and every subgroup or sub market or segmentation. That is, different offers, various prices, different promotional activities, different distribution channels, or some combination of marketing variables or marketing mix can be developed for such type of subgroups or target markets. Market segmentation is the only designed to identify the most profitable segments, but also to develop profiles of key segments in order to better understand their needs and purchase motivations. Insights of segmentation analysis are frequently used to support marketing strategies developed and planning. So the concept of STP includes many marketers use the STP approach, that is segmentation, targeting and positioning. S stands for segmentation, T stands for targeting and P stands for positioning to provide the framework for the marketing planning objectives. That is, the market is segmented, one or more segments are selected for targeting, and products or services are positioned in such a way that they resonate with the select target market or markets. Now we will see the evolution of market segmentation. The business historian, the Richard Tedlow, defines there are four stages of evolution of the market. The first stage is fragmentation. It was pre 1880s. The economy had the economy was characterized by small regional suppliers who sold goods to a local all regional basis. So that was the fragmentation concept. Then the concept of mass marketing that was evolved. Mass marketing concept was between 1880s to 1920s. As transportation systems improved, the economy becomes unfilled, unified. The economy becomes unified, standardized. Branded goods were distributed at the national level. Manufacturers tended to insist on strict standardization in order to achieve scale of economy with a view to penetrating the market into the early stages of the product life cycle. You can take example of model T Ford. After this fragmentation and mass marketing concepts, now the segmentation concept is evolved in the market segmentation. This segmentation concept was evolved in 1920s and it was popular till 1980s and still today also many of the organizations focuses on segmentation. As market size increased, manufacturers were able to produce different models pitch at different quality points to meet the needs of various demographic and psychographic market segments. This is the era of market differentiation based on demographic, socio-economic, and various lifestyle factors. After this segmentation, the next evolved concept is hypersegmentation. A shift is towards the definition of even more narrow market segments. Technological advancements, especially in the era of digital communication, allows marketers to communicate with individual consumers or small group of consumers. This is sometimes known as one-to-one marketing. Now this is all about evolution of market segmentation where we are only focusing on the segmentation concept. Now why there is need to study this segmentation? So we will see the two basic needs. The market segmentation and corresponding product differentiation strategy can give a firm a temporary commercial advantage. Most market segmentations are the techniques used to attract the right customers. So, we can say first need of market segmentation is to reduce the risk in decline where, when, how and to whom a product or service or brand will to be marketed. So to identify to whom to deliver, where to deliver, when to deliver, how to deliver, and which type of products and services are exactly matching to which type of consumers, then we can understand the consumers in a better way and we can reduce the risk of decline. So that's why it is necessary to study the market segmentation. The second important need is to increase the marketing efficiency by directing effort specially towards the designated segment in a manner consistent with the segment's characteristics. So we have to understand the segment characteristics, and we can do efforts for designing the market mix or segment in a such a way that the marketing efficiency can be achieved. So these are the various needs of market segmentation. Now we will see what the various benefits that the company will get from the segmentation of marketers. So number 1, a better matching of customers needs. Because customers needs are differ from each other, creating a separate offers for each segment makes sense and provides customers with a better solution. So, as customer needs are different, with the help of market segmentation, we can achieve better matching of consumer needs or customer needs. So, this is point number 1. Point number 2, enhance profit for businesses. The fact is, customers have different disposable incomes. So, as each and every customer is different and their disposable income is also different, we can divide broadly into lower class people, middle class people, and upper class people as far as the income standards are concerned. Hence, they are different in how sensitive they are to price. By segmenting the markets, businesses can raise the average prices and subsequently they enhance their profits. So to enhance the profit of the business, you should need to understand the disposable income of the customer groups. So this is point number 2. Point number 3, better opportunity for growth. The fact is market segmentation can build sales. Customers can be encouraged to trade up after being introduced to a particular product with an introductory or low price products. So they can trade up with a potential product, and in the beginning they can think of a lower price product. So because of this segmentation, better opportunity of the further growth or future growth can be possible. Then fourth need is to retain more customers. We are not only focusing on buying once, but we want the customers should be loyal with the company and they should frequently buy. So for that it is necessary to retain the customers, retain existing customers. Because of competitions, our customers should not go to our competitors brand and they should not purchase the products and services from our competitors. The fact is customer circumstances changes, the environment of customer changes. There are competitors in the market who will also try to attract their customers, and they are also trying different type of marketing mix so as to attract the customers. So customer can buy or purchase the products and services of the competitors by marketing products that appeal to the customers at different stages of their life cycle. A business can retain customers who might otherwise switch to the competitive products and brands. So to retain more and more customers, we can we can get benefits from market segmentation. Then next, that is fifth need is to target marketing communication. The fact is deliver marketing message to relevant customers. So communicating our product is very much essential, and we can deliver marketing message to the relevant customers because of segmentation. If the target market is too broad, there is a strong risk that customer or key customers are missed. So we do not want that our key customers to be missed, and our message should be delivered to the ultimate customers in way time. That's why target marketing communication can be achieved through the segmentation. The last need or benefit from the segmentation is because of segmentation we can gain share of the market segment. The fact is a leading share of the market is exactly equal to maximizing its profitability. So as we are gaining the more market share, it is not share market, it is market share. Market share is a different concept. So if in any market there are 100 customers, and if a organization is having all those 100 customers with them, then their market share is 100% because there are 100 customers and all customers are buying or purchasing the products from company A. So market share is 100%. Now if the competitor is there, and if there are now two companies, company A and company B, okay, and if 100 customers are there, from those 100 customers 90 customers are purchasing products from company A and only 10 customers are purchasing product from company B. So now market is divided into 90 and 10. So market share of company A is 90% and market share of company B is 10%. Now this company B can lower their prices or can do more advertisement, can do various attractive things so that their market share will increase. Now from that 90, suppose 40 customers are switched to product B. So what will happen? 100 customers are there in the market, that is remaining constant, but 50 customers are there for company A and 50 customers are there for company B. That means market share is now 50-50. So earlier company A was having market share of 100% and after maybe 1 year it is decreased to 50%. And earlier company B was not there in existence, so market share was 0%. Slowly it increased to 10%, and after that it increased to 50%. So this is the concept of market share. So what the point is, to gain the share of the market segment. So leading market share is exactly equal to maximizing the profitability. So minor brands suffer from the lack of scale of economies in production and marketing, pressures from distributors, and limited space in their shelf. So because of market segmentation, it can be achieved. So these are various benefits of the segmentation to the markets. Now we will see the next part, which is very popular question of examiner: basis for market segmentation for consumer goods. So basis for market segmentation for consumer goods. So if we can divide the market into two parts, consumer goods and industry goods, that is consumer market and business market. So first of all we will study the consumer markets or consumer goods. Consumer goods are goods which are delivered to the ultimate customers and consumed by the customers. Like all FMCG products are also, you can take example. So whatever the customers or normal customers are buying for their use and consumption, those are called as consumer goods. So on which basis we can divide the consumer goods? What is the base for segmentation for consumer goods? So this is consumer goods segment base that can be divided into four parts. As you can see in this figure, we can divide from their demographic profile, which is called as demographic segmentation. We can divide customer market on the basis of geographic segmentation or psychographic segmentation or behavioral segmentation. So GDPB, you can remember like this: G stands for geographic, D stands for demographic, P stands for psychographic, and B stands for behavioral segmentation. So I will repeat again: basis for market segmentation for consumer goods can be divided into four parts: demographic, geographic, psychographic, and behavioral. Now we will see this concept in detail. A major step in the segmentation process is the selection of a suitable base. In this step, marketers are looking for a means of achieving internal homogeneity, means they should be homogeneous within their subgroups. Homogeneous means similar. Similarity within the segments. So homogeneity means similarity within the segments. And external heterogeneity. Heterogeneity means different between the segments. In order to, in other words, they are searching for a process that minimize the difference between the members of the segments. and maximize the difference between each group or each segment. So such type of, if we divide the demographic profile, then in that profile similar type of customers should be there in similar group. So if you are forming group of low on the basis of, on the basis of income, then we can divide the market into three groups: upper class, middle class, and lower class. So from for this group, lower, suppose we are taking the example of lower class, then in my subgroup all people should be from lower class, and we may set a limit that whose annual income is below 3 lakh. For example, just I'm saying, if annual income is below 3 lakh, then we can say that these are our lower class income group. So all the customers whose annual income is below 3 lakh, we will put into lower class group. Now middle class group I will define as 3 lakh to maybe 8 lakh. So the persons or people whose income is between 3 lakh to 8 lakh, I will assume that that is my middle class group. And the people whose annual income is more than 8 lakh, I will define those as upper class group. So these sub within these subgroups similar type of characteristics they are possessing, that is on the basis of income I have distinguished. So I can take another example. A person's hair color may be a relevant base for a shampoo manufacturer, but it is not to be relevant for a seller for financial services. Selecting a right base requires a good deal of thought and basic understanding of the market to be segmented. What here I want to say that if you want to divide a market or shampoo market, then on the basis of income you cannot divide shampoo market, or and on the basis of height you cannot divide the shampoo market. If you want to divide the shampoo market, then you can divide that on the basis of maybe hair texture or hair color or age group, etc. So choosing the right base for the right product or right type of product is also important. Market segmentation is about creating various divisions. A market is a collection of consumers who can be divided into different groups using some criteria. These includes consumer characteristics such as consumers' age, income, occupation, gender, personality, usage, quantity age, and lifestyle, etc. The basis of segmentation can be divided into four major groups: geographical segmentation, that is based on region, city size, density of population, climate of their city, etc. Demographic profile or demographic segmentation can be divided into the basis of various age groups, gender, marital status, income, and education, etc. The psychographic segmentation can be divided into on the basis of the motivation behind the purchase, the personality of the consumers, the perception of their consumers, then attitude to purchase or consumer behavior, and their various lifestyles. The behavioral segmentation is the basis of consumer behavior, where the customers or consumers can be divided on the basis of various benefits they are getting from products, the usage rate, then loyalty of the consumers, and awareness of the consumers regarding their products or services. So this is a brief about market segmentation. Now we will see each and every segmentation in detail. So that's just I have mentioned here: geographic, demographic, psychographic, and behavioral. So GDPB that we can divide. So now we will see each and every segmentation in detail. So first we will start with geographic segmentation. Geographic segmentation involves segmenting or dividing or segregating the markets into different geographical units. The division of land into different countries or regions or continents or nations, which is further divided into states and cities, is nothing but geographical segmentation. This method of segmentation is useful when variation in consumers occur with the change of coordinates. Geography influence the people live and behave. For instance, markets likely to be different in extreme cold and extreme hot region. So maybe in some region there is extreme cold weather, in some region extreme hot weather, or some regions are at seashore, and some countries maybe are in the desert type of locations. Similarly, difference differences can be observed in the people of North America, Europe, Middle East, and Asia. Within India also, people from east side, west side, north side, and south side are different from each other in their buying habits, in their consumption behaviors, etc. These geographical differences render standardization of marketing ineffectiveness. For instance, coffee is a common beverage in the South India, while tea is more prevalent in the North India. Hindustan Unilever exploited these differences to market their brand, which is called as Brook Bond Tea and Lipton Tea, along with the brew coffee. Okay. Then similarly, Bharti Airtel segmented its market based on the geography. It divided Indian market into five regions, that is East, West, South, North, and Central region. The company runs advertisement campaign created in accordance to the taste and preferences of each region. Similarly, Duckbags, maker of waterproof bags or bags and umbrellas, market its product in the region where experiences heavy rainfall. And in that region of heavy rainfall, waterproof type of things like bags, coats, umbrellas, etc. are more popular than in Rajasthan. Also, Discovery Channel has introduced their channels in Hindi, in Bangla, in Kannada, etc. regional languages in India. So, marketers or industries are taking care of this geographical segmentation. Now we will see the next segmentation, which is called as demographic segmentation. Mostly FMCG goods are divided into demographic segmentation. Consumers in a market have different demographic characteristics, like age group is different, their genders are different, income is different, religion, education, occupations, all are different. These characteristics are easy to measure and are therefore most frequently used by the marketers. One of the reasons of their popularity is that demographic characteristics are closely related to the consumer's needs, wants, and preferences. This correlation between demographic characteristics and consumer behavior lends support to this type of segmentation. For instance, income is a powerful predictor of consumers' needs and wants. Demographic characteristics are useful in locating the target market because they can be easily served or observed. It is easier to locate consumers by age and income. Demographic variables, however, fail to describe how people within the segment thinks and feel. Very little insights can be gleaned in terms of their cognitive behavior. Two people who belong to a particular income class are certainly similar with respect to income, but may be radically different from each other in terms of their thinking. If the thinking has more influence on consumer behavior, then demographic segmentation may offer little insights in strategic development. The intra segment similarity produced by income is therefore superfluous. Now, demographic profiles or demographic basis of the segments can be briefly discussed, like age, gender, and income. So, we will discuss these 3 points here: age, gender, and income. So, we will first discuss age. People in a market can be divided into different age categories. For instance, kindergarten, toys, and cartoon channels are directed at kids group or kids age group, while motorcycles and colleges are aimed at youth. Age-based classification produce segments such as infants, kids, teenagers, adults, and senior citizens. So you can think of various products which are only for kids, that is first cry. You must have seen the advertisement of Amitabh Bachchan where he is the brand ambassador of first cry, where the age group from 0 like newly born to the age group of 3 years, various clothes are there. So depending on the age group, the market segmentation can be divided. Then we can think of the gender. It is one of the most real difference between the people. These differences obvious in their varying responsiveness to the products and communication appeals. Shaving products are naturally used by men. Cultural conditioning and social roles also link product categories into specific genders. For example, jewelry, dolls, beauty products, homemaking goods, hair care products have been conventionally linked with women, whereas the products such as toy guns, automobiles, hardwares, consumer durables, shaving products, etc., are connected mostly for the men. Gender based segmentation easily divides the market to identify what products and services are typically appealed to these groups. This is given a birth to a whole era of cosmetics and beauty products and beauty brands that target men, such as earlier it was Fair and Lovely or Fair Cream or Vico Turmeric Cream for women, but now they have developed special brands for men, that is Brill Cream, Jimar Face, Nivea Men, Fair and Handsome, VLCC, etc. The reverse is also true. Women have become prime target market for typical male products such as DLSR camera, scooters, and cars. So this is about the gender segmentation. Now we will see last part of this demographic segmentation, which is income group. It is one of the most critical determinants of consumer behavior. Consumer segmentation based on income categories is useful in gaining insights about what kind of products are likely to be consumed. For instance, income's influence on people determinant what they use for transportation, that is, whether they use a cycle, moped, motorcycle, economic car, or luxury car, etc. Marketers thus cater to different income groups by appreciating the designing their products and services. For instance, we can take example of Hindustan Unilever. They have market three variants of detergent powder. So only simple detergent powder is prepared for three income groups, that is lower class, middle class, and upper class, mainly for. So these are namely Wheel, Surf, and Surf Excel. So Wheel is targeted for economy class, Surf is targeted for middle class, and Surf Excel or Advanced Surf Excel is targeted for top end market respectively. It would be it would be wrong to assume that people with high income are the only buyers of luxury cars and everybody at the lower end of the spectrum buys economic car. It can be vice versa. The top end people, they can also buy the economic cars, and many of the times the economic class peoples are buying luxury cars. That is also can be seen. So cars bought on loans suggest that people do jump economic boundaries in their consumption behaviors. So they can cross their boundaries and they can buy products from other class people. Similarly, some affluent people drive small cars too. So this is about demographic segmentation. Now, third, we will see what do we understand by psychographic segmentation. Psychographic means measurement of various psychographic characteristics. Hence, psychographic is all about measurement of inner characteristics of an individual. Inner psychological characteristics such as personality, self image of the consumers, their perception, their attitude, and motivation plays a role in driving consumer behavior. Psychographic segmentation groups upon the use of psychological, sociological, and anthropological factors to determine how the market is segmented. Lifestyle or style of life means pattern of life of a person. Psychographic makeup unifies in what a personal does, that is, the activities of the person, what they prefers, that means interest of the buyers, then what the people are thinking, like their opinions. Then psychographic segmentation involves measurement of AIO, that is activities, interest and opinions. Now, the various type of Ayurvedic products that has merged in India is also a thinking of Swadeshi or Ayurvedic products. And many of the people are concentrating or promoting Swadeshi or promoting Khadi. That's why such type of products are there into existence, and the traditional products are replaced by these Ayurvedic products. So this is about the psychographic segmentation. Now, today we will stop here. Tomorrow we will see in detail the fourth, that is remaining behavioral segmentation. One second, I will stop the video.